Hello and welcome once again, guys, to Culture Cove right here on Hued Network. As always, I am Amadin Ogbewe. Now, what we're here to do, as always, is preserve the arts, preserve culture, and talk about these things so that they never go extinct. We want to continue to promote and, propagate and allow the next generation, the Gen Zs, and some of those kids who are getting born in 2025 of all year, we want them to continue to take these things more and more and, continue to propagate the arts because culture is about people. And because culture is about people, I am never here alone. I have a number of persons in the house here who always join me and an August visitor to break down the issues and really promote these things today. So I'll start with my left closest to me. I have the one and only Joan Eze. Joan, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling
looking
great.
good.
Thank you so much.
You are really representing Culture Cove.
Of course.
We're glad to have you because, you're the one keeping the lights flying. But we'll get to your level. Don't worry.
Thank you.
We'll try and get it up.
I look forward.
On the other end, we have, as always, Paul Oladipupo. Paul, how are you doing?
Very well. I'm chill today, I'm very cultural as well. You didn't mention that, but it's fine.
Oh, yes, sure. Oh, actually, yes. Very popish and purple represents royalty.
Royalty.
So now, finally.
Now you're understanding it, but it's fine. Go on.
Anyway, and we also have our special guest in the house. His name is Ope, and it interests you to know that he is a musicologist, specifically an ethnomusicologist. Welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
My pleasure.
It's not easy to be sitting down with somebody that has
so much music
in the music. Everything about him is music.
My pleasure.
Maybe
Trying to learn from masters.
I hope you teach us one or two during the course of the program.
Okay.
Is there any basic about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do? Or is
Basic.
That's it.
Well, basic thing is it should be tonal.
So
Tonal
did I get it?
it means you should tone your ears. It requires you once your ears are tuned, then you can have that.
I have a quick question. I use pause a lot. I listen to music and I put it on the highest volume. Do you think my ability to get quality of music has dropped due to excessive usage?
Yes, it's not too good
Sad.
because it affects your eardrum. So
So
that's the reason why you see laws against noise pollution and the rest. It affects.
So what's the best way to listen to music?
It's better you have an external, so you listen so that it fills the room. And apart from that, if you have to hear using an AirPod,
Not too loud.
not too loud.
I feel like I'm not feeling it. But anyway, I'll work on it. It's a shortcoming of mine. So as always, we'll have a number of segments here. We'll start with what Hued Network was up and about in recent times. Then we talk about the arts, music fashion. And then finally, we spotlight a specific cultural practice, or how culture relates to certain aspects of life. So let's start off with what we were doing recently. Actually, recently we were at the Bangladesh Eye Commission on the occasion of the celebration of Bengal New Year. And it's really a massive one that the Bangladeshi hold in high esteem. Let's take a look at that report now. When we return, we'll talk about it. Don't go anywhere.
The Bangladeshi community in Nigeria celebrated the Bangladesh New Year with a vibrant festival showcasing culture, unity, and strengthening diplomatic ties between Nigeria and Bangladesh. At the event, which held at the High Commission of Bangladesh in Abuja, representatives from the Diplomatic Corps, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and members of Bangladesh community gathered to commemorate the occasion, which marked not only the start of a new year, but also the enduring friendship between the two countries. The acting director of Asia and Pacific Division, Ambassador Mohammed Aidara, who represented the Minister of Foreign Affairs, emphasized commitment to strengthen diplomatic relations built on mutual respect and collaboration.
Let this new year bring prosperity, peace, and progress for the people of Bangladesh. May our partnership continue to thrive, strengthening the bonds of collaboration in trade, culture, and diplomacy. On behalf of the Nigerian government, I wish you all, our Bangladeshi brothers and sisters, a year filled with happiness, success, and harmony. I pray that the vibrant colors and joyful atmosphere today will serve as a source of inspiration for a more promising future for the Nigeria-Bangladesh bilateral relations and for the peoples of our two countries. Shublo Nobobosho, Joy Bangla. Thank you very much for your attention.
A member of the Bangladesh community in Nigeria, Ronak Khan, traced the historical roots of this celebration.
The independent Sultanate of Bengal began using it as a solar calendar for tax collection. So it actually started as an administrative process to start the beginning of the business. But later, in 17th century, exactly in 1695, April 14th was standardized as the start of the fiscal year. Over the time, the new year, Paula Boishak, it evolved from a simple administrative marker into a very jubilant cultural celebration, embraced, as was mentioned, by all faith in Bangladesh, as a day of renewal and shared identity as well. We are diverse, but this is our shared identity.
The event also featured remarks from Commission Representative Mohammed Dia Hussein, who expressed optimism for deeper bilateral relations and the mutual prosperity of both nations. He offered prayers for the continued progress of Nigeria.
The message is, in the coming days, I would like to work for our country so that the bilateral relation between Bangladesh and Nigeria can go up day by day.
Highlighting the day's significance, Ronak Khan described it as the biggest celebration in Bangladesh, marked by songs, poetry, food, and cultural display that reinforce the national identity. The president of the Public Order Association of Nigeria, present at the event, Dr. M.D. Iseyin, praised the spirit of unity reflected in the celebration.
So this is the biggest celebration in Bangladesh. It's the beginning of the new year, and it actually represents our identity. We do follow the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, but this is when we all actually come together to celebrate our songs, our poetry, our food, and also the cultural heritage as well.
Everything about development is a collaboration. And when you see a community celebrating their days, I think it is to show that we are with them, united for development. And that is why we are here, to celebrate their day with them, and then to let them know that they are not alone.
Bangladesh performer Affinity, who sang at the event, said the festival promotes unity across different cultures and communities.
Definitely, it's a event that brings us together. People from all community, all culture, all everywhere. Even Nigerian people here, they're also enjoying with us. So this is one event that can bring us together. We are playing our own song, but you can dance with our song. We can dance with your song. So this is exchange of cultural, the goodness.
The colorful celebration featured traditional dances, poetry, recitation, and musical performances that captured the joyful spirit of Bangladesh. The event rounded up with a lively procession mirroring the Grand New Year parade annually held in Bangladesh. In a world that is increasingly interconnected, events like this serve as a reminder of the importance of embracing other cultures while respecting the individuality of every community, and continue to make efforts to celebrate diversity, foster mutual understanding, and build stronger bridges between nations.
Wow.
I want to, no, I really want to shake my body right now.
I know it's an amazing time, and the feeling was infectious there.
Yeah.
I saw someone who sort of looks like me dancing there. Was that me?
Yeah, maybe it was you.
I must have gotten into it anyway.
So many people are not recognizing themselves.
I love the name. I don't even pronounce it right. Paila Bushka.
Paila Bushka.
And basically celebration that involves all cultures and all likes. And they also mentioned they also celebrate the arts, culture, and all of that. Maybe I should hear from you first. Opey, how do you see this celebration and what it means?
It's a beautiful one. It's a way of cultural exchange. I remember 3-4 years ago, I participated in a cultural exchange with a team of Bangladesh musicians and dancers. And talking from that experience, we learned their dance. I learned their musical instruments. I tried on the Nigerian xylophone. I tried to play their anthem. So that experience also, in a way, we exchanged contacts. We have been relating since then. And the last time we had this kind of cultural exchange in New Delhi, they were also that same group. We met in New Delhi, in Suraj Kund Mela, in New Delhi for a festival where we went from Nigeria, and they also came. So we met again and we continued the friendship. So them doing this kind of event, it's a beautiful one. It's a way of letting Nigerians know about Bangladesh. Also for Nigerians to experience their culture. It encourages, it's actually something that we should even do in Nigeria. Well, thanks to those who organize festivals in Nigeria, to showcase the differences in different culture and to encourage and promote cultural tolerance. What you see as something that is abnormal to you is what is cultural to me.
Indeed.
You know, indeed.
Yes.
So as such experience, if they give this kind of event more mileage in Nigeria, there are a lot of days. You hear the Indian do the Diwali, the Chinese New Year,
If
the foreign affairs, give them more platform in collaboration with their high commissions. That they have it at a full-scale event whereby Nigerians
Nigerians would always love to.
Nigerians want to be part of it.
We had a pretty nice meal afterwards.
I mean, it was very nice. Exactly. I know. So talk about that meal. It was also cultural exchange. Eating their own.
We actually love Nigerians there.
Exactly.
And if you check out that procession, a lot of people dancing there.
Exactly.
It's so easy to buy into people's culture.
I think that's where I want to really come in. I want to come in from a different angle. There was something MD and the next Bangladesh person said. You know, there's one thing I love about Nigerians, in as much as I like to claim other nationalities. Nigerians are so accommodating. And in as much as we are like the US of, I don't know.
Africa, of course.
We are like the US of Africa.
In terms of size?
Yeah, in sense of size,
culture as well.
in sense of culture, and in terms of protection. Like, we like to give you, in as much as we are still trying to come up to protect ourselves, we want to make you feel protected as well. And I like the fact that he said, you're not alone. We are with you. So that statement alone is to tell the Bangladesh that come into our country, dwell with us, eat with us, we'll play with you. And when you're in trouble, we are there to fight for you, even though we were still, struggling, but we are there to, help you to come up and all that. And then the other lady that said, we dance to your music, we dance to your music. It shows that collaboration. Everybody's ready to collaborate with you. We're ready to. We now see ourselves now as siblings. Imagine me walking into Bangladesh and saying, give me a cup of tea, and everybody will say, "Oh, you're Nigerian. I like the way they treated me when I was there." So we sit and we enjoy and we marry. I think this New Year, I wish we can be celebrating every day as their New Year, so that we can.
I said the exchange and that relationship you've built. That's amazing.
For me, it was really amazing to see all of those things, and I think that's the first time, apart from usually behind their music from movies and things like that. That was the first time I heard their music on a different scale, and it was very.
Should I expose you? After actually when we came back, Paul somehow found the song they were playing. And
Exactly.
Now he plays this song.
Exactly.
I hope you know the
I didn't even think.
I've not even
I
checked.
didn't even think to go online and look for it. I thought it was just okay. It's a cultural song. Probably it's just coming from there. But apparently, some of these things have made their way to all the streaming platforms.
Oh, wow.
I mean, at that event, I actually just Shazam the song, and then I saw it. I was like, okay, fine. What I usually do with Shazam is once I like a song, I'll just Shazam.
I think we'll have to play that song on your wedding
then-
day so that we know what.
And it's just there. That song I was singing, Mananjane.
Oh, really?
Exactly. It's very engaging and
We really don't care about the meaning. We just want to dance to it.
And one thing I noticed about that music is that it has so much of drums, just like we have as well. It has very upbeat like we have. So there's no way you will hear it and then you will not dance to it. They also have their own very soulful music as well. But most of their songs have very heavy drums and even in all of those soul music as well, you see a tone of that drum inside one way or the other entering it.
Yeah, and something happened that day. We tried to get one of the singers to come so we could talk to them, and he was like, no, just talk to this, and he seemed reluctant to use his words. But when, it was the period of the merriment and all of that, you see him drawing people out, and what it showed to me was that this is someone who might not want to communicate by saying so.
But his actions already.
Yeah, but he wants to communicate by dancing. He wants to communicate by singing with you and all of that. So which shows, the universality of music as a language, of dance, of culture, of arts. It was in full display.
I think I should also mention there was this funny thing that happened in the event here, where three boys were to read a poem here, and then the first two read theirs,
Three Bangladeshi boys.
Yes, and then the last boy read his own, and then everybody in the audience started saying, "This boy grew up in Nigeria."
Yeah, he read it in English. Right?
Yeah, he read it in English, and he had the
tonality,
exactly the tonality of a Nigerian boy basically. Although his facial looks and everything, it didn't look like a Nigerian boy. But how if you were not looking at him or you just heard him, you would have thought that this boy is one Nigerian boy.
The Bangladeshi community in Nigeria is really thriving, and we saw all of them there, and it's a beautiful thing. So that's how we round off this segment.
Sorry, before we round up, I think I'll have to marry someone from there so that we can know how
you will continue exchanging further. Yeah.
So that we'll keep exchanging. Thank you very much.
Anyway, let me not expose you. I'm pretty sure you have another international husband or two, but
you have to be
yours is to listen. You don't.
Let's
we listen. We don't judge. That's the thing. Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Besides, it's polyandry, but in Nigeria it might not be the best.
She might go to round one.
The international men might not have an issue. We'll just put Bangladesh is on the list now.
Thank you so much.
So we'll go on a break now while we go and find a husband for Joan. See you later.
Keep watching. Please keep watching Culture Cove on Hued Network.
Welcome back. This is still Culture Cove right here on Hued Network. We are now delving into our segment where we focus more on the arts, that is entertainment, music, movies, fashion, and all of that. So, Paul, what's the latest? What's the haps?
Well, I'm still on music actually, and I know that Joan wasn't able to get an husband from Bangladesh during the break, but maybe now we're going to New Orleans, so maybe by luck, probably either find a Bangladeshi there, or you look for someone else again. That is already on the list.
Thank you. I like the fact that you are so concerned.
She already has somebody representing US there, so maybe US is taken.
You see, there's this area. Exactly. The more the merrier. Let them come and they will not pick. Exactly. But now we're going to New Orleans and we're going to talking about the Jazz and Heritage Festival there, which is always very wonderful. And that platform again for different, cultural exchange basically with several artists from all over the world and also local artists there in Louisiana, coming up on stage, displaying their culture, displaying tradition, speaking music basically. Because in case you don't know, music is actually a language and it's also always a very wonderful one as well. Usually on the weekend so that everybody has time to come and it's always very large. This year I had artists from all over the world basically coming on stage. We had Burna Boy on stage performing. We had Lil Wayne performing, and also the Root Band. If you know the Root Band very well, they're very popular. That's Burna Boy there. The Giant of Africa. Odongo himself, exactly, was also there. We also had Thames performing on stage as well. It was very wonderful. It's not just about jazz at the end of the day. It was all kind of music that was there. Several music, jazz music, Afrobeat, soul, R&B. Call it whatever music that you want. Everything was basically at this festival. And it was obviously, if it's a festival, it has to be very festive. It's people partying, so much joy, so much happiness. And most importantly, the party no go sweet if music no dey.
Indeed. I love festivals like this so much because a lot is always happening, and I think sometimes you could find that people who are here could have had a very stressful week, pushing papers, writing emails, when it's time, and then you see them now, they are with their water guns, doing all sorts and all of that. But I'm wondering, what do you think about this? We're talking about jazz, jazz music, and it's meant to be a jazz festival. So even if all music is in jazz, jazz still takes a center stage.
Exactly.
So as a musicologist here, what can you tell us about it? Ethnomusicologist.
Okay. Yes. The festival, I think I had followed this festival, and it's not just a jazz, it's indeed music festival. Because you see like our Afropop musicians, you see reggae musicians, all kinds of musicians come to this festival. And like you said, music is universal, it's a universal language. Music is science. When you see what they do at the festival, it brings back life. It brings back memories. It also means it adds to the economic GDP of the nation.
True.
So and also gives platform for the upcoming artists. This festival, taking it from the jazz, the jazz. If I want to talk from the historical perspective, there are two perspectives to it. There is the scientific perspective from history of Western music that says there is an era, the 20th century. They call it the jazz era. Where you talk about musicians like Chopin and the likes. Where before that era, we have the Romantic era. Before the Romantic era, we have the Classical era. So let me pick it from the Classical era. In the Classical era, the ideology is follow the scripts. Follow
play what's in front of you.
What has been documented.
Rest for rest.
Don't add to it. Don't
remove.
Then comes an era after that says, okay, you play what it is, but express yourself. That means you are doing some places where you're supposed to play, just play soft. At some point, you have passy. And then after that era comes, culture evolves. It's this talking about culture. Then comes the era that says, no, yes, truly you follow this rule, but we are giving you a space. Express yourself. Play it. Tell us what you feel. Use music to tell us how you feel. And that era is called the jazz era.
But looking at it, actually, it just shows because you hear some jazz music and then it's all smooth and then they're playing around it little by little and then it grows. And there are some that's very energetic, very loud, so a lot of things. So it just shows how, the multi-diversity of how jazz looks at the end of the day.
So, it brings you to that era whereby you can express yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, the music sheet is there for those who do classical music. For those who don't do classical music, also that breeds different genres of jazz.
Okay.
So people say jazz came from the word jargons. It's a school of thought that came from the word jargons. brings in his own feel into
the freestyle.
and then freestyling. But still following the rules. There's a guideline to say this is the progression of the music.
You see on time.
You have to follow the timing. You have to come back to the melody. So you have the ballad jazz, the swing jazz, the traditional jazz, the contemporary jazz, the ethno jazz. So everybody is now picking out their own
Ethno jazz.
Yeah.
For instance, Angelique Kidjo.
Okay, Joan, should we go?
Yeah. Me and her, we saw yesterday, and I was like, allegedly.
And she said she will.
I want to tell you that.
She said she's also looking for husband for her. So,
So we are going to join those who will look for a husband then.
But it's interesting though, the evolution of music. I know since we are still on the topic of music, we've kind of left the festival, but the festival was fun enough and all of that. But like you said, we saw all kinds there. So what do you say about these fusions and how they lead into different things at the end of the day? Something that started like this became this. And sometimes I hear that some music came out of others. That's
Yes. So that I don't completely take you out of the festival. Let me take it this way. I'm trying to.
There's a lot. I know there's a lot.
Let's try to bring it on, like how the Afrobeats, because one way or the other will find Afrobeats there now. How the Afrobeats find its way to places like this? How the Afrobeats even start?
I mean, you told us a little story about Fela before.
Exactly.
Okay. Like I was saying, that is the foundation for the commercial music we play today. If not for all of that, when we talk about the world civilization, a lot of things come to place. Also, culture evolves. The culture of my grandfather is not the culture of my father, is not my culture. Same thing, music culture. Music, there is something they call music culture. The music culture of my great-grandfather is different from the music culture of my grandfather, of my father, of me. Same thing to me. And culture evolves. My grandfather's culture, it will evolve. It keeps evolving. Look at the clothes we are wearing. Formerly, it is teru, the one they knitted one. And then the technology came into play. And now AI is in place, teaching us new forms of how, all of that. Same thing happens to music. The Gen Zs, just like that.
Sweet Fanta
that is what influenced the evolution of different music genre. Let me do a short analogy. When the colonial masters came, they regard every form of music as being paganic, except that one that has to do with the piano, the classical form of music, and all of that. They encouraged some people to go study music. Basically, that time, the music they studying is the westernized music. And then those who had the opportunity to be part of the Second World War learned the trumpet, learned the guitar, and came back home to say, okay, during our Father's Day, we have the were, we have the agidigbo, we have some traditional music. Now, after those people came back from the Second World War, it was then the agitation for independence and all of that because of the new exposure. The likes of Bishop Ajayi Crowther, is the grandfather of Abat Macaulay. Yes. The advent of the new African native church, the first church we have in Nigeria. All of these things, also the introduction of the guitar into the Agidigbo music. The Agidigbo music, the Apala music, this music were our own traditional music. But there is now a need. Those guys, when they came back, okay, they tuned their guitar, played the guitar along with. At that same time, the Ghanaians too. We had a lot of them in Nigeria in that period. So that now gave birth to Alive. The Alive music was on. the premier from the southwest, Oyo State is the premier, where we have UI, where they play indigenous talking drum and all of the serious indigenous music. And they brought in the talking drum. From Ilorin, that's Ilorin to Ogbomoso to down to Oyo State. All of that, they have a particular thing they call juju. And they now adapted the juju, the kind of drum they use, into that music. Juju music came into existence. In Ilorin, we have a lot of Muslims where they do something they call were. It's a traditional call during fasting. Whereby and then the chorus and they do all of that. It's an Islamic way of waking people during fasting. And they turned it to entertainment. They turned it to using it to praise people doing like the way the Christians too have their own gospel kind of from the juju music. We have gospel juju,
Mega 99, all those guys,
and they too now have the Islamic and then the were music now bettered Fuji and Waka. Salawa Abeni, Waka, Barrister, Kollington, those are fathers of Fuji music. While the Apala music, those Agidigbo music went with our grandfathers.
So where did Fela and Afrobeat come into this?
Fela, being a music scholar too, in his own wisdom, to study music from the Royal School of Music, London. There is a school of thought that says that. Because when you look at it holistically, he also created a niche, carved a niche for himself to say the Western music, they taught them in school, taught us in school to say that there's something they call strong beats and the weak beat. That has to do with the Westernized music culture. It is a theory for Western music culture. And they tell us in school that it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So, so you see the music coming on that strong beat. 1, 2, 3. And Fela looked at it and say, okay, if that one, you or your people are saying 1 is the strong beat, for me, that 1 is my weak beat. 2 is my strong beat. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Afrobeats. So the strong rhythm, according to the theories of Kofi Agawu, Bode Mojola and the likes, that we have cross rhythm, we have a particular rhythm that is consistent in every African music. There's something that is consistent. You see, ta 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 ta. That gives a foundation upon which, and this you see this ta 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 is influenced by the Western music culture to tell us that the strong beat starts on that 1. That is the reason I see 1, 2, 3, go ta 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 ta.
I see. on that musical note, we'll have to end this segment. But thank you so much for enlightening us. The new
that was more like a new school kind of music thing. And I wish you got to Alberta and people would have learned.
We learned a lot. And again, kudos to the New Orleans Jazz Festival. We hope the next one will be bigger and they get more of our artists from here. We always want to represent.
I was going to be there.
So that's our round of this segment. Now we'll go on a break. When we return, we'll spotlight a cultural practice, or how societies interact with certain aspects of life. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Keep watching. Please keep watching Culture Cove on Hued Network.
Welcome back. So we're taking our final segment of the program for today. Joan, what's the special cultural practice you are taking us through today?
Well, thank you so much, Amadin. Thank you so much, guys. I've learned so much, and thank you for the fact that I'll be.
I really hope it's musical, by the way.
Husband soon. But this time around, we are going all the way to Greece. And
maybe you find a husband there.
okay, so in Greece, there's this particular culture which I feel is not really happening only in Greece, but well, let's just focus on Greece for now. It's called the tooth tossing culture. So when a child, when you're growing up, at a point your tooth start coming out, then before the stronger ones come out. So by the time your tooth rather start falling off, according to the Greece people, they understand that you have to toss it to the roof. The child, the parent helps the child to toss it to the roof, and that signifies that you're bidding that particular tooth farewell, but you are accepting and you're understanding that a newer tooth and a stronger one is going to come for you. So it's such a very beautiful experience, and this brings me back to when I was a child, actually. And this particular culture happens in Nigeria. And I think when I was around 6 or 5, one of my tooth fell off, and I went to meet my mom, and then she was like, okay, let's throw it up to the roof. Don't allow lizard to eat it or to swallow it. I was like, if lizard swallow it, what will happen? She said, you will never have any tooth again. But when you throw it to the roof, you have a stronger one, and that one will stay with you till you grow old and old.
On the outside, actually,
it was the reverse. I thought we were encouraged for a lizard to eat it.
Exactly. That's what I was coming to. But my own was not just to throw the tooth alone. You had to throw it as well with 7 stones, probably the number of your age, basically. So if you are 6, you take 6 stones and then throw the 6 stones, then throw your tooth as well on it. If you are 7, basically, and that was it. But I remember that you said that, but I actually cannot remember if it is that lizard must not eat it, or lizard has to eat it.
I think lizard should not eat it. My own experience is, I think I was five then. Then when I was climbing something, and then this tooth fell off. And then they asked me that to go and eat it under the ground. So a lizard will not, and I can still remember the place, that particular place, that is where the new set of teeth will come out from. And then in the course of the teeth coming out, you can see the 2 big teeth now. I'm always like this. So that is my own experience. So it has some psychological impact in that culture. So, but that is my own.
I think there are different ones in different places. One that I would have loved if we could adopt is, I think in America, if you lose your tooth, you put it under your pillow, and the tooth fairy will come and drop, I think, $1.
Yes.
And these days with the rates, the Nigerian dollar rates now, I won't mind $1, but it's interesting, really. I wish we could get more cultures that gives you money.
I tried that one as well.
With the tooth fairy?
Yes, but then...
The tooth fairy is American.
How will you try it in Nigeria?
Wait now. Let me land.
Oh, yeah, no.
I did that, and then I couldn't find the tooth again. It disappeared in a way I cannot explain. Then I remember the next one that fell off, I kept it in tissue paper and then it did very well in a place. And then miraculously again, it just disappeared. It was just like film trick.
I think you should say unfortunately.
It's not unfortunate because I was so sure. I packed like first tissue paper. After that, I looked for down again, wrapped it again, and kept it somewhere.
I feel the forces of nature were against you.
This is an interesting case. I want to put on my investigator hat. In the course of growing up, did you ever happen to find money that was not yours? Sometimes, just hanging around.
Yeah, a lot of times.
That was what the tooth was collected for. The Nigerian tooth fairy gave you 20 naira, and you thought you just did not appreciate.
I'm sorry, tooth fairy. Now I appreciate, and now I know. I was not aware before. Now I'm aware.
So is it that you need the 20 naira now? Or what?
No, he has spent it already. But the tooth fairy is listening. You should know that rates have gone up. It's not bad if somebody says that 100K to pay school fees for that child. At least, because it's something. But what interests me about this Greek culture is that we have the same experiences here, which happens with culture, where usually whenever we talk about cultures here, we pick specific people that do it. But it's always interesting that
other cultures
of people do it everywhere. And remember that, when I saw this, I was like, what? Are you serious? All over the world, that place they are doing the same thing. And it's really interesting. And I think this is how we can connect even though we are far from each other. Imagine I met somebody who's from Greece. You know, we can, at least on that level, we'll be able to connect. Me too. I threw my own there. I don't know if Lizard ate it, but now that I think about it, I think Joan is right. Because I think I was misremembering. Because I just remember the fear I used to have. I hope, because I think the thing was that if they eat it, it won't grow back.
No,
so I was now wondering, this one that it has not come out.
And again, an animal, I think maybe it's that same lizard. I don't know what lizard really did to us, but it must not see it.
It must
not see the gap. So you have to be very careful when you're smiling or you're crying. So
when the teeth comes out,
exactly.
When it comes out, you know,
you can now smile.
When the small I started, yes.
I think the only similar thing to this, I believe we have. I don't know if you guys witnessed it too. There were these white birds.
Lick, give me one finger.
Yeah. So
and it literally gives you. It gave me.
That thing, because you know you just see the white spots.
Lick.
I don't know. We will find a science for that. There's a scientific reason.
But all I know is that I was like this. And again, if you want to hold the bird, you just lock your finger up and look at it. I did it. And it worked.
And the bird will stay there.
They will just be hovering around like this. And at some point, I want to go for the
you are saying, and it worked for me.
Take me there. I want to go there.
And it works. But in any case, one thing I do look forward to, people have different reasons for having children. One that comes to me is I want to be able to give them some of these stories.
That bird is Katu Egret, by the way.
What?
Katu Egret.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yes.
But it's like a lick.
Give me one finger.
Let's be cultural. We're not
lick is, I think that's Yoruba.
Yes.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yes,
we're seeing it in Edo State as well.
What do they call lick? Igbos, what do they call lick?
I really don't know.
We call it lick everywhere. But I think we adopted the Yoruba ones, I guess. But anyway, I think that's how we end the program for today. If you are a child or a younger person watching this program, and your tooth has fallen out, maybe you should research all the cultures. The one that gives you money, you can consider.
Actually, that's what gives your culture.
Growth, who knows?
I actually would want that. That's what's it called, Jones Zone, where I lock my finger and then So Joan, please.
So, the final thing that we're actually done with the program, we end with a wise saying. So let's take a look at that now. And when we return, we'll talk about it.
I'm just thinking of the literal when you go and tell your daddy that mommy is not fine.
But anyway, let's take it. Okay, please, can you help us with it?
Pikin will say, "In mama no fine." They used to call him Papa blind man. That is deep,
Very deep.
But the truth is this possible? Can any Pikin? That's for me. I disagree with this adage. Why? There's this thing in music psychology, in promotional psychology. Anything you listen to continuously for 21 times becomes pleasant to you.
Wow.
Hey.
Is that so?
That is the theory.
But that does not work for certain musicians for me.
That is the theory music promoters use. That's the reason why they promote their music
on social media, yes,
all the time. The more you listen to it subconsciously, without you, even if you hate even the musician, provided you listen to it 21 times. The next thing that happens is anyway, they just say bang bang. You won't know when you just do bang bang. So let us apply that theory to this. While growing up, the person the child is seeing is the mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So naturally, no matter how ugly the mother is,
It's going to be fine to
it will be the most beautiful thing in the sight of the child, because that's the first person the child will be seeing.
True.
The only thing that will now make the child say, "Mama no fine," nah, maybe possibly when the child has now entered the streets, or the mother had done something. Then I cannot say, "You are my father." You people, they've actually done something bad to the child. That is when the child will now come back and say, with all this mark on your face, that's not. But to any child, the mother world, that is my own opinion about this.
Probably that's what the.
I mean, this is actually a very nice perspective they are bringing to it. I mean, you can't actually look up to your mom and then say that. It's just, on your own theory now, it just reminds me of Anda Adi that says, monkey no fine, but mama like him. No matter how ugly a child is, his mom always like him or her. And that's the theory here as well. But for me, I'm saying, you see, there's some insults here where you insult someone. Like, probably you call someone a bastard. Now, it does sound like a word bastard, but it's actually very in-depth. It means that there's something missing in the line of all of these things. In fact, funny enough, in Yoruba, there's this school of thought as well that says that kosomwale, meaning that there's no bastard child, basically. So there are some insults that you tell someone that it's even in depth and more than just that word. The word bastard might just be a very simple word, but it has a very deep meaning. So usually I think it also tries to caution the child as well, or our tongue as well. Now, while saying some things, it's better that you should actually think of it twice. Because, I mean, if, for example, you say that your wife is not fine, for example, it means that you say if you're also a blind person because you are the one that actually picked her. So, yes.
Thanks so much. Bye for now. See you next Saturday. Culture Cove on Hugh Network.